In 2026, the biggest constraint is not the technology, it's how work gets done, how teams are enabled, how leaders design operating models in regulated environments.
It's really so much less about the technology. Okay, it's about the business transformation. And there was recently a McKinsey, I think it was just a few days ago, reporter conversation that came out that really highlighted this importance. And when we look at business transformation, it's, aside from, knowing what you want your workflow to do or an agent to do, it's really looking, it's a more expansive horizon to understand organizationally what's possible to get that level of alignment in and bring that forward. And then the components are organizational change, the people. There's a 76% higher adoption rate getting people, team members, the humans in the loop to use AI just with a formal organizational change and training program, right? It's showing the support from the executive team that this is important, right? And, there's that fear thing. I'm not exaggerating. I might be a little animated, but it is a do or die moment for organizations of a certain size and position.
Governance. Who is on your governance committee? Do you have the innovators, which are the exciting, we're going to go do this, we could change the world, we know what the vision is? Do you also have the controllers in there, the CISO or CISO representatives, the quality representatives, the regulatory representatives, the legal representatives, right? You have your maybe HR investigations because things can go wrong, right? But do you have the controllers in the room, and do you have your partners in the room? Okay. Because if it's going to move so fast and you want to be very agile, then you need a group of people that have to play together, learn together, and start to establish again what we learned a long time ago. I remember carrying a plastic card around that said, I was on the governance committee. Here's our principles. Here's our behaviors. Here's what good looks like. And when in doubt, here's what we do. Okay. When the escalation occurred. I don't think that goes away in today's world. I just think it has different players, different ingredients. Change doesn't happen with big teams. It's a lot of small teams that can make huge changes, right? So it's not about managing the big programs and all that. Keeping that group of people centered on what is the outcome. In USDM, we talk a lot about what are the business problems, what's the outcome we desire. Let's get that on paper, okay? Because that centers us. You guys know this. If you do something well, what happens? It gets replicated. And it'll be done again, and it'll be done again. And so your organization's getting at a velocity factor that's what we all desire. AI is a very important theme. And what we're seeing really interesting is even with some not great, just to be frank, a lot of successes. There are successes for sure, but not a long list of big successes. We're seeing companies take 2026 budget and pull it aside and create the AI big budget in the sky. Do you know where you are? And if you don't, let's get some people around you to help gauge where you are, not against competition, just in the journey. People need to know why. Why are we moving this direction? What do we hope to achieve? That'll evolve. He looked at us dead in the eye and said, I'm going to pick 3, maybe 4, AI activities that I'm going to measure, I'm going to highlight, and I'm going to demonstrate to the executive team. I think I've picked 2. Can you guys help me think about 2 more? But I want to pick the right one. So he's being really careful in selection. I love that. I really love that. Now, what he also did was, in that same meeting, demonstrate about another 5 other things he's doing that are minis and smalls and, done for educational learning so that he is growing the culture. He also is institutionalizing videos and education for the culture, but he knows what he's being measured at. Well, he knows where he is, right? He knows where he is, and he knows how to chart that course for the organizations.
I feel like we've been waiting 25 years for this moment, right? Where so much of the companies to get AI to work in AI, whatever that means for you, right? But we're really talking about its workflow that's intelligent, providing insights, doing things that are providing more value than and mitigating that risk. So much of it's like the understanding the domain.
What is the business problem you're trying to solve? What do you think is going to be more valuable? You probably have a vision of how you might want to get there, but taking your clinical item or your regulatory item, you're still going to do it It's just the organization's asking you to look at a different set of possibilities. When I go to that Shark Tank, they're going to be, yeah, the chairs spin around. I want to invest in that. That makes a lot of sense to me. You're just going to have to know new language, and you might not know all that. So, ask for help.
It's helping you accelerate your jobs and helping you do your job in the best way possible. And to Kevin's point earlier as well, if you're not, there's just going to continue to be this gap between you and the next person in your organization and the competitors that you have. ChatGPT right now, when I last checked, has 800 million weekly active users. 800 million. That is a lot, right? That's a lot of the world population. And it's your grandparents, your parents, your children, everyone is on it in a personal setting, right? Whether or not you can do that at work right now is a different story, but the accessibility of AI is just so dang accessible that we need to make sure that people are informed on how to use it in a responsible way, how to use it in the best way to get to the decisions they want to make, and how they can use it to best accelerate the transformations they're looking to drive and the outcomes they're looking to drive in their organization.
To reimagine, right? Not just to throw AI into how we've always been working.
If you got to know last week, go back again this week, because the pressure on your leadership teams as well as there's an expectation that AI is being used in your organization.
I look at it like a pearl necklace that goes miles long. Each one of these little pearls are your little hits in your business that really is creating a whole new organization and competitive position.
Best organizations in the world have already figured out governance, making choices. There are marquee companies in life sciences and outside life sciences that are doing this well. They started early. They've got great partnerships. They're role models.
I think even to the question at the start and just building on what the two of you just said, historically, or maybe many of the leaders in place today, especially at these organizations, they went through a cloud transformation where they went maybe from on-prem to the cloud. And it was this point in time, point in time transformation where it's like, okay, this is the point in the transformation, where now the transformations are continuous. Like, we need to be evolving as we go. And AI, and there's a recognition of that, of how AI is accelerating that change. And Mark, to your point around how does that impact the way we're working, and there's going to be a lot of shifts in the next 12 months.
If they have their governance, their people are changing, they're putting process in place, they're getting the insights, they're moving it. That's that gap. It's wider and wider and wider. And it's existential. It's Darwinian. I know I sound dramatic. I believe it. We are in the fourth industrial revolution. It is a wild time. It's fun.
We began with digital trust as an operating model, moved into operationalizing compliant AI, and then explored intelligent automation as a way to reduce the compliance risk. But the most important message from this summit is clear. Technology isn't driving transformation anymore. It's the operating models that do. So the life science organizations that thrive in 26 are those that really integrate people, process, and platforms into a seamless inspection-ready framework.